what's going on?
Oh, that's my favorite thing ever.
That was just for you, Seth. That was I didn't have it set up and I panicked and had to do it real quick. Oh, that's funny. Man, what's going on? How's work treating you? You need to what did you say? Oh, yeah. That'd be interesting. Cuz if you're doing it through if you're doing it through an app, I've heard it gets really strange. But I also don't know what I'm doing, so who knows? They do move in herds. That's hilarious. Well, what is this, number 8?
Mm-hmm.
I got the number right?
Yeah.
I think on Facebook I put it's number 8 or
question mark?
Or who knows?
Who knows?
Yeah.
That's funny.
I didn't know. Sweet. So, give us an update.
Give us an update. Well, I tried to jam with somebody the other day. I think we could play half a song together.
Hey, let's start.
We're both not very confident, but I don't know. Those bar chords are
Sure.
But
yeah, and
sorry.
I think that when most people get together to jam for the first time, right, or when they're not used to it, it's really easy to overcomplicate because there really is. Jen's mic is quiet. I'm out of tune.
Oh my gosh, that sounded awful.
Right? See if that helps. I smash. My guitars are the worst. Yeah, it's a lot of tune now. While I'm tuning, I shall try and talk. Most of the time, yeah, when you first start trying to improvise, trying to do any of that stuff, it's like you feel like there's too much of a right or wrong.
There was no improv. There was like, oh, can we play these chords?
Hey,
I say jam very loosely.
I know, but that's still, it's not like you had like a planned rhythm necessarily, or people think of improvising a lot of times as being like, moving around with like soloing and stuff. Everything's quiet. Everything. That's a little better.
Always that box. And you're like, what's going on?
Yeah, right.
Just check that first.
I did. Yeah, right. But yeah, so a lot of times it's like, there's a lot of things that you can improvise that people don't realize, where maybe you're making up the rhythm because you're playing through a song, but you're not necessarily focused on doing the same thing over and over again.
Yeah.
Or there's so many things that you can improvise. So the reason I say that is when you want to get together with someone, especially like when you're first starting, you could do something as simple as just jam on a couple chords, but kind of play around with it, because like as you do it, you're going to start to feel more comfortable, and as you relax into that, then you can start like maybe changing up your rhythm more, or noodling around with other ideas, right?
Yeah.
You definitely don't have to think about everything.
For sure.
And and a lot of times too, it could be helpful maybe if you guys had picked out some songs, right? And said, okay, we both know these ones. Let's try and play through these. But yeah, right from the what were we gonna say?
Well, I was gonna say it wasn't like a total loss, because both of us were like, yeah, we practiced a lot more like after, and then we did pick out one song. It's actually thing.
Okay.
What was that? Good Riddance.
Oh, yeah, I gotcha. you did end up. I gotcha.
She likes that song, and I like that song, so thanks, Seth.
That's funny.
But so yeah, we have a plan for next time we do it. Who knows when that'll be? But
sure,
it's good. So
yeah, and it's one of those things. Like when people practice for perfection, that's a different mindset and a different part of your brain than when you're improvising. Because when you're improvising, you're essentially working like the problem-solving mechanisms in your brain, right? Whatever the right word for that neural pathways or whatever bull.
Whatever.
Yeah, so you're essentially using a different part of your brain where you're getting good at solving the whatever pops up.
Right.
And that could be, and no matter how good you get, there's always something, right?
Mm-hmm.
So something new pops up where it could be something like if you get better and you're playing like a performance and you break a string, what do you do then? If you technical problems or whatever in the live situation, could be whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the getting good at and right now, the big thing would probably be if you go to an incorrect chord or don't get the chord correct the first, maybe your finger's on the wrong string or something, being able to fix that and carry on rather than having
Stopping.
Yeah, you don't want to do that, right?
Right.
So for you, do you feel like it's more, what do you find more difficult? Like if we were to say we're going to jam right now, would you find it more difficult to figure out what you're going to do with your left hand or your right hand? What do you think? There's no real right or wrong, but
right now.
Okay.
Just because, I mean, you and I were even talking about the, what's it called? The rhythms and how I don't remember everything. And so like when we were playing, she could figure out the rhythm because she understood that.
Okay.
So she remembered it.
I gotcha.
And then she would play it, and then I was like, oh, okay, then I can
Sure.
play it with her. So it's more like reading it instead of just like hearing it.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, if you're
know.
looking to get better at the what's on the page, like just learn or like reading it, I think well, for one, I'll give you this one book that I think will help out because it goes it's not based on any specific instrument. We might have used it in one of these streams. I don't remember if we did or not. It might have been another lesson. The Winning Rhythms book. Yeah.
Winning Rhythms.
Winning with yeah, that's right. Yeah. But you can use something like that. But I mean, I think because you have a good ear, you could try listening to something and trying to write that out.
Oh, okay, that would.
So kind of reversing it, right?
Yeah. My brain works in reverse a lot anyway.
Who
So
cares?
that would be helpful.
But yeah, doing something like that can be really good. I think the biggest area that a lot of people end up ignoring is their ear training and being able to, because there's probably times where you have an idea and it just doesn't come out, right?
Yeah.
Whatever that might be. And it's just being able to connect your brain to your fingertips better, right?
Yeah.
So let's try this, because I know when you look at this recording software, it gets a little you don't know what's really going on. So I'm gonna put a rhythm in there, and we're gonna try and face hit number one. We're gonna try and see think about what those notes would be. Okay. Just because I'll show you it's a little bit easier than you might think. Okay. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna do it with here. Let me change this so people can see. Let's just do one measure. Okay. No cheating. You don't get to look. So what I'm gonna do here, okay, I'm gonna have this hi-hat keeping the beat. Okay. And what you want to do is we're just kind of sometimes when you hear multiple notes, it can be a little bit worse, to try and figure out. So what we're gonna do is take that, and it's just gonna be the bass drum. That would be like your strumming pattern. Does that make sense? Okay. So what you want to try and do is probably first just go ahead and think about what it would look like. Don't worry about the notes.
Okay.
Just figure out what it is.
Okay.
And if we were talking about it just a little bit in the car, you can do this when you are, just like if you don't have your capo or something, right? You can mute the strings and just have like a whatever you need for that, right? Okay, so go ahead and try and match this. So you'll have 4 beats. It'll go ahead and start. Okay. I guess I should have looped it. Sorry, my bad. Okay, but that's it. Okay. So what you want to do is you want to try and think about what you would strum for that. Yeah. That's it, right? Just down, down, up, down, down, up. What kinds of notes? And if you want to review those, that's totally cool too. But like the types of notes, like eighth notes or quarter notes and stuff.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah, you want to
wait, give me a second.
Sure.
So, a quarter.
Are you looking?
Where?
Are you looking at the dots?
Yeah.
Oh.
Am I not supposed to?
Hey, you're
I mean,
you're cheating
aren't
a
you
little bit.
trying? Aren't I trying to figure out?
I guess
am
I didn't.
am I only supposed to do it based on?
Fair point. You do have you are taking the most efficient route.
I've always been taught to work smarter and not harder.
Yeah, I'll give you that. Yeah, that's hilarious. No, I was saying you shouldn't look.
Well, I was like, I can look now. You're
I
done.
can see, yeah, okay.
I don't know.
But here,
I guess
so-
I didn't understand. the
No, go ahead
direction.
though. Go with what you
But
were
like,
going.
okay, so if it was right,
Mm-hmm.
so then yeah,
So
like
what kind of notes do you normally do the downstrokes on?
and
Mm-hmm. And then when do you normally do down up?
and that's an eighth, right? No,
Well, yeah, like 2/8.
2/8.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
Okay.
So like
So that's what it
like that sort of thing, because now that you like that relationship, right?
Mm-hmm.
So no matter what, a lot of times strumming patterns will have something like a tie, right, where the notes
Right.
are glued together in like that. If you're playing that really common pattern. That sort of thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but really, if you are having a hard time, which I don't really see you having, but if anyone is who watches or listens or whatever, if anybody does have a hard time picking up stuff by ear, try and like lock in more to one specific thing. Maybe like there's a lot of information coming at you when you're listening to especially a song, right?
Yeah.
So if you were to go ahead and say, try and only find where the main beats are, like the main accents,
Mm-hmm.
chances are those are downstrokes. So then you can kind of, get a sense of where the chords are switching, and then kind of gradually build it up,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Let's say I play. Here, I'll play a rhythm that you can't see. Okay. And I won't even put it on the screen. So I'm just gonna turn my back. Okay.
Okay.
I think the people on the screen can see. Here, we're gonna go like this. No, they can still see. Son of a bitch. All right, you can't see really. Okay. That's fine. Good enough.
I just won't look. I
There you go.
promise.
All right. I didn't plan for this. All right, let me think.
But it's like no matter where you turn because you have a camera there.
Yeah, exactly. All right, here we go. Okay, so what do you think? Like, you just go ahead and play it. You could even try and guess what chord if you wanted.
Oh wait. Now I forgot it.
No worries. It's hard to remember them, right?
Mm-hmm.
So.
No.
You're close. So try and just do this. And this is the hard part because it's continually playing. And I mean, you can do things like slow the song down. You could, start and stop it real quick. I do that more if I were like figuring out what notes to play or chords. But for the rhythm, I'm going to keep playing it. I'm going to keep repeating it and try and just build it gradually more. So this is like kind of going into that like where we make it harder than we need, right?
Mm-hmm.
So try and like lock in with whatever feels like whatever starting point feels good for you from the very first strum of the pattern. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So like even though my pattern goes right? You could just start with just the first two strums and just get that in time and then think, okay, I'm adding maybe an upstroke or a downstroke or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So here, I'm going to play it, and then I want you to try it. So if you want to know, I'm just doing an E minor chord. Yeah, took you like 2 seconds, right?
Mhm.
Not nearly as bad as you make it, right?
No, it's true.
Yeah. So if we had that pattern then, how would you think about that in terms of notes and ties and that shenanigans?
Oh, with
So
the
you
ties
had
and everything.
yeah,
Okay.
but you just think about your strums first. So you had down, down, up, up. Right there, you have a clue because you have two ups.
Mm-hmm.
There's going to be something that's going on there.
Right.
One of those ties,
Mm-hmm.
right? There actually could be another way you write it. So actually, let's take a little side note on that, because just so you can understand the rhythm a little bit more and stuff. So if I were to go over to this, holy, that made us look like ghosts. That's cool. Okay, so if we were to have, I'm gonna write that pattern. Okay. So what we had was it? Nope. Those are always backwards. And then we were tying that note. Okay. So down, down, up with a tie to the what would normally be the downstroke, and then the upstroke at the end. Right.
Mm-hmm.
That tie, like sometimes you'll see things written as ties, and sometimes you'll see them written as dotted notes. Have you seen those? I can't remember if we talked about those on here or
a
not.
little bit.
But yeah, so like if we were to have, let's say, this, okay, we could write that as a tie,
Okay.
right? So total, that's like 3 half beats. Right, because we had like the quarter note is the same as 2 eighth notes, so you have two, and so that's 1 beat, and then we have half of the next beat, so it's like 1.5 beats.
Gotcha.
Think about it like that. I was just a lot of times it's easier to think about things a little bit more consistently, where it's all eighth notes or all quarter notes or whatever, just for counting.
Yeah.
So we could write it like this. So we'll just say it's worth, because this just glues them together, right?
Okay.
If we were to have this, where this is actually a dot, that's the exact same thing. Because the dot adds half of whatever note it is.
Kind of annoying.
Yeah, it can be. It definitely can be.
Just pick
What's up, dude? How are you? Yeah.
Brandon.
Yes, it is. So yeah, so the reason it's going to be situational. I personally, a lot of times, prefer to have ties.
Mm-hmm.
Because then you can see where the main beat actually is happening, even if you're not playing it.
Yeah. I like that too.
Yeah. But, yeah, we're doing good. Glad you are. Anything new with you? Yeah, so if we had, like, you could have this, right, where we have 0. And then this last one could not be dotted because we only have 2. Oops. Like that, right?
Okay.
So if like this is where like the counting and feeling and stuff, you can totally make it more complicated than you need to and everything. Count however feels comfortable. If I'm looking at that, I would probably count eighth notes even though you don't see an eighth note.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's going to be easier for me to think 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2.
I gotcha.
Like counting just those eighth notes. It's always easier to count in small groups than it is to think, just think about that. And like if you were to rewrite this, like we were saying, you could totally have this where it's like this. Oop, nope. And then here. And so you can see the reason I just fixed that actually was if we're tying these. Oops, not that one. This is what happens when you switch between software.
Okay.
But you can see, you can actually tell where beat 1, beat 2, which we're not playing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So beat 1 is fine, beat 2 we're not playing. You can see the beat 3, and then you can see that you're on the offbeat. So if you come across a rhythm that's like, I don't know, just real weird for you or something, maybe try and rethink it.
Mm.
Another thing is, and this is another good thing to bring up, if you're playing a song where the strumming is really busy, but the song overall feels kind of slow, does that make any sense?
Yeah.
Like if you had like not that chord, but if you had like let's see, like a, you know, something like where this is the tempo, but you have a, so that is gonna feel more intimidating, right?
Yes.
But so like let's take a look at what that might look like. If we had a rhythm, let's say, and let's actually change our time signature real quick because I'm playing something a little different right here. So 6/8. So we just had that one measure. So in that case, it'd be down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, right? If we were, like, let's say that was happening faster, it's gonna look real intimidating on the page. But what we're gonna do is we're essentially just gonna make everything twice as fast. Oops, 16th notes. And then we don't. I went back too far. Let me change this again. Okay. That's the exact same pattern, but just written twice. Okay, so when you see, like, if the song is slower, you can do more downstrokes or do more, you know what I mean? Like, because you have more space, because it's just slower. Yeah. So if we were to play that pattern, like if we were thinking about it at with like a quarter note and then eighth notes instead of eighth note and 16th notes, I mean, it would be way slower, right? You'd have... It's the same thing, but we just have a slow tempo, so... Does that make sense? So you can kind of see it in a few different ways. That's a good pattern. Try that one. That's going to be a different one for you. So down, down, up, down, up. And try and hit the first down a little harder. It's going to help you. So you're going to go like this. So like, whatever. What chord are we doing? G? Feels different, right?
Yeah.
Let's try jamming on that.
Okay.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dum dum.
All right. No longer goes.
All right.
All right, so take a breath.
Sip of coffee.
It's going to take me a second just to get our backing going.
See, this is what we didn't have either. We didn't have like drums in the back to help keep the beat
accountable.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, the if you don't have a backing, and this would be true if you're playing with someone or if you're playing by yourself. That, you know how I just said hit it a little bit harder, like give it more of an accent, that can help.
Okay.
Because if you're hitting everything the same, you feel it the same way, and then it's a lot easier to kind of zone it out. It's like the example of, right, if I have this air conditioning thing playing. If the air conditioning unit is making some music,
Hey. Find music and everything.
it's boring, so you zone it out, right?
Right.
Find music and everything.
Boring.
Pretty much.
But yeah.
All right, so here, 3. I'm giving slightly different hit. Oops. Okay, so if we have this, 1, 2, down, up, down, up, okay. All right, I'm gonna give you that chord because that one's a really sweet one.
What one is
My student Alex he asked me about it like 4 weeks in a row because he kept forgetting it. It was awesome. It's like the C chord.
that? Okay.
Move it up 2 frets. The form of a D chord, but it's a really cool voiced one because you have. There's more color.
There is more color. That does sound nice.
Yeah, so if you're doing any song with a D chord, you could substitute that. I'm trying to think of an example where you couldn't. If you had a D chord, I don't think there's a key. There might be one, but I don't think there's a key where you couldn't use that instead of the D chord. I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure.
Like
Huh?
I don't know why, but it's just like
Well,
that's very pleasing to me.
It
Me
pleases
gusta.
me. Me gusta. No, so there's a lot. That's one of my favorite things is finding different ways of playing chords, because you can play it in one way, and then if you rearrange it, much more my style.
Yeah. And then you can pick it, and it sounds like.
Yeah, it's a fun one.
Is that in one of your songs for Saturday?
No, but it sounds like it could be.
It should be. We'll have to remember that.
That one.
Seth, bring that up next
It's
time.
a first inversion of a major 7 chord, or a minor 6, depending on. But anyway, I don't need to get super nerdy. So if you're playing by yourself, you could just you know how you got in the groove of it, started feeling it. You could totally have, kind of reestablish where the groove or the pulse or whatever it, you want to think of it as, wherever that is. That helps a ton.
Okay.
Plus it sounds better because then it's like, especially if like maybe for one of these performances that I'm doing coming up, like if I want people to be able to lock in better, or especially because everyone can't clap or can't,
That is so funny to me.
they can't do, yeah. I was playing a show a long time ago, and the singer tried to get the people to clap. They couldn't do it, and he made them stop. And it was the best thing ever.
You guys are throwing me off.
Oh, like fans, man, they suck. Yeah, the singer told them, all right, we're not going to do this. And then just went on with the show. It was great. Yeah, so
That's
let's try putting that into something. Just because it's once you learn a new shape, right? You can try and apply it, because then you'll learn it better. Let's just do something with let's go A minor.
Okay. Can you write this down somewhere so I can
Yes.
see? Or I can.
You want to make some notes over there?
I don't. No, do it in front of me.
Do it in front.
If that's okay.
Yes, I'll just open up something real quick. I'm just open up a notepad. Simple. All right, so we're going to do A minor to C to the D, the new version of the D. And then do you want to stay on the D, or do you want to go back to C?
Let's go back to C. I'm sorry.
You.
I'm a little tired, so things are like so
A little too
funny.
much D. A little too much. We need to go back to something a little safer. Whatever that means. Clap over 13. That'd be awesome. You do what?
Like Slap happiness.
That's hilarious. Now I want to write something in 13/8. Oh wait. That's kind of cut off, but I dig 13. I like all odd numbers. All right, so you can follow that though.
Okay.
Okay, so and I am actually going to add a bass real quick, just so we have additional like low end for you to lock in with, and it also puts it in like more of a real situation, right? Nice, this bass is real heavy. What's that?
This
Sorry.
is. Nope.
Oop, one more. There you go.
Dang it. I'm getting a little lost.
Well, you're also switching like one time each, right? So if you're doing something where you're going, right, that's going to be a lot. I mean, that can be a decent thing to just do as like a warm up. Yeah, 4/4 for sure. Yeah, I mean, if you want to do that, that's a fine exercise. But you can also, the more time you give yourself, the easier it's going to be. So, in this case, we're going to have. Let's see. So you're going to have. Oop, and A minor. There you go. Yeah. You were moving to like a E minor chord with a C in it.
Gotcha.
Which can sound cool in some situations where you know, like you add like. But so yeah, see, there's never anything like. You can always make something of something, and you know.
Yeah.
So don't just discredit it. But yeah, so let's try that real quick. So. I got the wrong chord, sorry. As I say, how does it do? So right there. That's all right. Try it again. Just try it without the drums one time real quick, just so you can kind of.
No, those help.
Well, I was gonna say too, if you try it by yourself for a second, you can like oh, I got these chords, because then you don't have the pressure. Yeah. So let's try it. So A minor first.
Oh, see, I always.
You want to go? Yeah. So. And I'm putting you on the spot here, so there's a lot going on. So. Watch that finger. So you're doing bigger motions, and like I know, especially since it's harder to see, right?
Mm-hmm.
Try and just when you go to the C chord, move just your ring finger, because that's really the only one that has to change, right?
Oh.
So you're kind of tripping yourself up by adding more motion.
Yeah, I feel like I am constantly.
Sure, it happens all the time.
I mean, you said the other day, stop taking your whole hand off to go to a D.
Yeah.
I was like, because I always,
like,
I don't know. I'm like, I feel like I make a show of it.
Yeah.
Okay?
There you go.
So, okay.
Yeah, so you can minimize those motions and have. All right, let's try it. And if you get a little screwed up, just try and join back in. Yeah, not bad. I mean, there were a couple little things in there, right? But it's that consistency thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, it won't take you too long to, get something like that, under your belt or whatever. One other thing, just to kind of show you, a lot of times there's little variations that the reason I want to bring these up is you might see these in songs.
Mm-hmm.
But real quick. So if we're playing like that C chord, like we just were,
Mm-hmm.
the regular, One way that I like to play it, especially if I'm playing by myself, is I actually put my ring finger down on that string, and then put my pinky underneath to hit the one, and that makes it a little bit like fuller.
Okay.
So sometimes when you're looking at songs, it might, yeah, Jen is getting really good, right?
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, so like sometimes you'll see like in the song it'll say C or something like that, but then it looks a little bit different. It's just there's the two fancy words. Just in case you see them, you've got voicing. Voice in music theory literally refers to a note. So like you have 6 voices here that
Okay.
you can potentially use, right? On like my 8-string guitar, I got 8 voicings, right?
I like that.
So the voicing, there's voicing and inversion. The word inversion is telling you like what chord you're playing and what the low note is. So that would be an example of that would be G/B, which you've seen.
Yes.
So it's a G chord, but you have a different low note. And the reason for those is it makes it sound very different. So if I play a C chord like this is with my C. If I play the different note, or the other one, right? That's like that Hawaiian thing. What is it, G? Yeah. Sorry, I had to figure it out in my head. But yeah, they sound different. So that's the inversion, where it'll, and most of the time in like modern music, all you're gonna see is it written as a slash chord. You're not really gonna see the there were nerdy things before, because for a period of time music was written with just the melody, and then Roman numerals with numbers after them telling you how to play the first chord in the key or the 5th chord in the key, and you had to improvise all of that.
Gotcha.
So yeah, I got a little crazy. Anyway, where was it going? I got distracted with
I
too many
don't know.
tangents, babe. Yeah. So like the voicing is literally just how you're playing. Like you can have the same inversion, but like different voicings,
Okay.
right? So I could play an A minor chord starting on this note.
Mm-hmm.
I could do the bar chord. I could also voice it. Just 3, I could voice it where I have, and that's still starting on the same kind of note, right?
So where does the inversion thing take place then? Or like how
does that all? Well, I'm just bringing it up like when you're looking at some stuff, like it might say a C but look different than what you're
Right,
like, and
and
even think
that's-
of the bar chords,
Okay,
right?
Yeah.
Because if you see a C chord, it doesn't, and it just tells you C. You have to figure out what way would best fit the song,
Right.
right?
Okay.
So if it's more acoustic and strummy singer-songwriter, whatever, probably open chords more. But if it was more like rock or whatever, probably more towards the bar chords. But yeah, like if you tell someone to play a C, most of the time they're going to do this. They might do like a C at 9 or some other open version. What's that?
It's normally my go-to.
That's a cool one. Yeah, C at 9's cool. Like C major 7's easy, and it can sound cool if you're trying to add something. You can just take your finger off the C chord. Right? You can just... My guitar's breaking. All of them are.
You keep hitting them.
I guess that is true.
Whack. Oh, why's my guitar?
Yeah, but I hit it up here. It shouldn't mess up my... I don't know. I smack them every time I take them out of the stand, too. So, it happens. But yeah, anyway, you can... If you see something that's, like, weird looking, I mean, a lot of times it'll be either a small alteration or you can go back to something that's more comfortable. You don't have to necessarily... Unless it's, like, a very specific type riff or something like that where you need to. So...
Yeah.
And that's actually that little D.
Practicing.
Oh, the A slash, and that's a weird one too, because
That's
those
so weird.
normally you'd actually hear the G sharp with the A. That's why that one's kind of weird, just because of the keys
Okay.
and stuff like that. The song that you're playing has a few different little key changes in it, but like normally you would hear like that's the A, G sharp.
Okay.
Actually, you say it's a normal.
So pretty.
But instead, we've got. Yeah, G and C at 9 as every rose has its thorn. That's about it.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember. She was playing that.
Oh, you guys got together? Yeah. That's an easy one.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could do that one like kind of sleeping. Yeah, so the I think picking just listening to something, trying to recreate it and then figure out what it would be if you were to write it down would be helpful. But then also realize, like, I mean, if you are in a jamming situation, you don't have to analyze everything. So like the jazz gigs I played in college, it would be a lot of showing up and we would pick what song we were going to play on the spot and what key we were going to play it in. So you didn't plan really anything. And yeah, I mean, it would be different every time. It really kind of crazy, right? But you could you have like you can just you get more comfortable as you jump into things, and so you want to work that problem solving thing, and just like in that situation, I would not be thinking of everything. I would be looking for sure at what chords I need to hit, but not necessarily what specific rhythm or anything else like that. That do your thing.
I got you.
But always, like, I mean, like, the thing to keep in the back of your mind is, like, what's the situation? Because if two of us are playing or you're jamming with her or whatever, it's going to be different than if you're in a band with a bunch of people. And then the more people, you tend to play less. That sort of thing. So.
Okay.
All right. So the drums don't always match what you're doing exactly, right? You might have. You'll probably have some sort of variations in there. So let's pretend like we're in a band and our drummer came up with this really awesome drum beat. Whatever, I'm going to do real quick. But what we're going to do is jump right into it. I'll leave it up to you. Do you want to do no planning whatsoever? Or no? You look so terrified.
I need a plan.
Okay, all you get to plan is your chords. I'll give you that this time. So what are our chords going to be?
Keep it the same what it was before.
What the hell just happened? The
A minor.
A minor, C, and
Cool.
works for me. But now we're gonna have a totally different rhythm. Okay, so it's just a pretty straightforward, relaxing kind of drum beat. I think it's probably gonna be easiest, and especially because of the stuff you like. Go for more laid back stuff. You could, like I said before, I can make them, or you can go on, YouTube even and just drum beat at the speed. But probably do some more laid back ones, slower tempos first, just because it adds a lot of pressure as soon as it starts getting faster, and you feel like you have to do more when you really it might sound better to do less. So
Gotcha.
I'm just gonna push play. Hopefully this drum beat I didn't hit a wrong note or something like that, but
Loop it.
it is looped. If it's purple, it's gonna loop.
All right.
But it doesn't mean I looped it correctly. I did this time, but a lot of times so there's this beat. It's on beat. So if I were to do this, it would add like one extra, which I do all the time. All right. So one measure on each of those chords then.
Sure.
Okay. So it's gonna be in 4/4. I'm gonna let it play once or twice, and then I'll start, and then you'll come in. I don't know why I paused so dramatically, but that's what's going to happen. All right? I also just realized I'm a dummy and changed our count into the wrong time signature. I changed it to the old one. Here we go. Like I said, I'll let it play. And you can do whatever you want over this, okay? We're going to start real slow, relaxing, kind of like think intro of the song. Maybe some picking, maybe just things that make it sound more mellow and match that vibe. And then I'll call something out. We'll build it up, take it back down, like a song would go. But we're just going to keep doing those same chords. Okay? So I'll let you listen one more time. So then you'll join in a sec. So. You can do whatever you want, like try whatever you think might sound cool. If you feel fully comfortable strumming at once, the point is to start and then not stop. Even if you have to sit there forever, only doing this to get comfortable with it, and then you get very, like maybe after a minute, you're like, okay, I think I could do this. Then that's fine. But just start with something because then you build that confidence kind of gradually. You're a little bit more comfortable, right?
Yeah. I don't.
What? It seems to me like you're more comfortable with the strumming part, which makes sense because it's more like, if you're tapping your foot, improvising in your head is sweet, right? Although you kind of look like an idiot when you forget that you're actually humming it out loud. Yeah, like what you were doing was good. It like you just, like I said, you need to start and then keep building on it.
Yeah.
Right. It makes sense though that strumming would be more comfortable because when you move more of your body, you can internalize it, feel it more, right? So like there's actually like people tap their foot when they're to keep time, right? But if you tap your heel, you move more of your body and then you can actually feel it more. Yeah. So sometimes even like a little change like that. Oh, you're in the office by yourself? Well, sing like a madman and then just go crazy. I want to hear you doing like some aria or something. Find a room with good reverb, right? All right, so let's try this same thing, but let's get rid of the new chord that we just did. Okay, so let's just do like E minor 7 and C add 9.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think because I don't ever play C that way either.
Yeah.
It's tripping me, but.
Yeah, that, and then there's also the horizontal motion, which you're not as comfortable with quite yet as you are with being in a position with open chords.
Right.
All right, so yeah, E minor 7, C add 9. Okay, let's just go back and forth between just those two for a sec.
Okay.
So we'll have. Okay, so that's all you got. Make it really low. Building it up a little bit. Like it's getting boring. You want to build it up, like but in the band, you all follow along, in the groove of it.
I did, yes. That's fun.
It is, right? So like people get too freaking intimidated right away, right? Just as soon like you started with something that was comfortable. Now I bet you if we were to do like jump into that new version of the D chord now, because you just like I said you build that confidence up in steps, and then it makes it much more fun, and then you can and you don't have to do a ton of stuff to make it interesting. Yeah. You actually did a really good job at when we made it mellow the first time of filling in the space. I wasn't like you weren't paying any attention to this, but you did a good job naturally of it. So when I was kind of, I don't remember what I was playing, of course, but I was doing, and you were kind of like a call and response kind of thing. So you're doing a good job of knowing your place. Woman.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, you know your place.
It's like, I don't know where to go next.
I don't know. Yeah, I forgot what I was gonna say now. But yeah, you're doing a good job of fitting into like your space musically, and I guess realize it's okay to not understand all the different little things all at once. You know, you can always go back and be like especially if you film yourself at one point, like to hear how it's actually sounding from like a different because there's a lot that way you don't have to like compare yourself or like. Not compare yourself. What am I trying to say? Evaluate yourself while you're playing, which is a lot. So if you take like you film yourself playing it, kind of analyze what you're doing and stuff like that. But just go for it more. You'll find some when you analyze it, you'll be like, oh, that was pretty cool. What did I do there? Or I don't want to do that again, kind of thing.
I got you.
There's both. So anyway, questions. That's all right. Yeah, I mean, if you do, let me know. If anyone out there does, let me know. If you're, I think if you focus on, you've got enough stuff now where you can do something a little bit different each time you practice. So maybe what would be a good thing for you to do is have like a jamming day where it's more free. It's not like you have to play it perfectly. Maybe you have a day where you're doing more with like a song or something or if it does work better for you, you can always do like I got my technical practice done first, and then I would work on a song after or something like that. Whatever works for you. So cool. That was a good session.
All right. Yeah, it was fun.
Well done. I'm curious to see how this. Right when I said I actually did it correctly, and then I think at the very beginning there's a goof. We'll see. I guarantee there's something. So.
Thanks for coming, guys.
Yeah, virtually see you.
Good to see you guys.
Yeah, appreciate it. Have a good rest of your day.